Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday morning. Howdy, howdy. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Hey, Apollyon. I'm a smoker. I feel like I've put worse chemicals in my body. True. I mean, like, both things can be bad at the same time. So, yeah, I was just saying that to Kevin's story, it is true that they found that study. However, I don't think that that's going to change people's minds, but that's okay. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Apollyon? We've got plenty of headlines to go through, and then we're going to go to page number 57 of the IPCC report. We're still getting there. Howdy, howdy. Ooh. Is the mic levels okay? Is it too loud? Are we good? Are we good? I mean, I'm here sitting, drinking coffee, so I'm good just getting ready for work. Same. Same. Working, drinking coffee, and water. Yeah, the first thing that you should do, technically, when you wake up is have a good cup of water. It's good for you. Oh, shoot. I actually forgot to pull up this video. Hold on, folks.
Hey, you.
All right, here we go. All right, folks, we got plenty of stuff to go through, so let's get started. Lee Spanner, good morning. Howdy, howdy. You came in just in time to start, Lee Spanner. Just in time. I'm sorry, but I must subject you to this.
Conducted clinical trials are needed to provide more specific evidence-based guidance on the role of ivermectin in the treatment of COVID-19. However, the NIH has said that for other things, quote, ivermectin has been widely used and is generally well tolerated.
Yeah. Because, hold on, wait. Yeah, because each medicine has its own particular, use. Wow, amazing. Excellent conclusion, Dennis.
Well, it's a bad day when a talk show host knows more about how to treat COVID than most doctors and the NIH.
Wait, no. Hold on. Wait. It is a bad day when a talk show host knows more how to treat COVID more than the entirety of the medical profession. Nice meme. Excellent. Tell me.
I claim that I am such a person.
Wow.
And it is with no pride that I say it.
No, not one. Not one. Not a single drop of pride. Imagine needing to open that with that statement. Like, I'm not being prideful, but I seem to have found like everything. I seem to have found me, a talk show radio host, have outmaneuvered the NIH, CDC, here have outmaneuvered the entirety of the international community as well, because it seems like nobody else is doing this. Amazing. BRB, I'm going to the store to buy horse pies. But ivermectin is an anti-parasitic, not an antiviral. True. So yeah, like again, expert talk radio host who manages to find this amazing treatment that somehow the entirety of the medical community has managed to just miss. Amazing. Tell us more.
With embarrassment for my country and shame for the medical profession.
Wait.
Slovakia becomes the first EU nation to formally approve ivermectin for both prophylaxis and treatment COVID-19 patients. The Slovakia Republic's Minister of Health has formally registered ivermectin as an approved prophylaxis and treatment for SARS-CoV-2, the virus behind COVID-19.
Can we just take a second here? Alright, prophylactic. I need the definition to that because I am ignorant. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Prophylactic is a preventative measure for the spread or occurrence of disease or infection. That's not what he said that does. He said it was a treatment. Ivermectin is a super soldier serum, folks. True.
In breaking news, the authorization occurred yesterday. That's a couple of weeks ago, as doctors received the news that they could proceed with formally authorized prescriptions both in hospitals and outpatients. The mortality rate in nursing homes in Germany is about 25% to 30%. After treating about 100 residents with ivermectin, the rate in one case series apparently went down to, what do you think the number is? No. From 25 to 30% to 5%.
Okay. I would really love to see those studies because I remember the original problems with the studies was that they the original ivermectin studies had medical malpractice and they had to be retracted. Now, that being said, there are studies being done right now. There's nothing conclusive. That's the whole point. That's the reason why the FDA hasn't gone on and said use this, because there's inconclusive results based on what they've found so far. There are still preliminary or initial looking into this. The company that makes ivermectin has said this is not what you're supposed to be using this for. Like, that in and of itself should kind of seal the deal, right? Because think about it. If the company that made ivermectin found out that they could actually make a serious treatment measure for COVID, they would make bank. Of course they would be pushing it. They would make bank. So they would be pushing it. But instead, they came out and said, no, this is not what this is intended to be. The cure is lemon and ginger and seltzer water. True. They'll put something in your body but not on it. True. Do you think that there was other safety measures taken? I have no idea. I don't even know what studies that did. Mr. Prager over here is trying to push. Right, here we are. You can find the same level of evidence if you look hard enough for any snake oil. All you have to do is select the information that supports your position without regard to quality. True. Profit over public health. Yeah, that's my argument. That's my argument. My argument is, imagine if like the makers of ivermectin found out that they actually had a treatment in their hands. Of course they would be pushing that. They would be absolutely pushing that.
So all of you who have supported the doctors and Fauci and the others not recommending ivermectin, you have participated in death. But you're a nice person, so you live with yourself.
Wait. So now you can turn that argument around on its face by saying those of you who don't subscribe to an unproven anecdotal dewormer, you are the ones that are participating in death, not the people who are taking any type of preventative measures, such as the actual proven by studies, the actual proven treatments like Regeneron, monoclonal antibodies, remdesivir. These are proven. No, not those. No preventative measures such as all 3 proven vaccines, masks, and whatnot. No. It's if you don't participate in this weird argument that I'm making about something that has not been conclusive, you are the one who is participating in that. That's so weird. What a weird argument to make.
And that's fine. I don't want you not to be able to live with yourself. I want you to do penitence.
What? Wait. Couldn't I say the same thing about you? How about, like, how do you manage to sleep at night knowing all of the misinformation and destruction that you're leaving? How do you sleep at night, Dennis Prager? Can we just, like, can we not use those words, please?
God, it's disgusting. The number of lives shattered because of death and because of livelihoods ruined.
On a bed of corpses, probably. Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. You don't have to think about it when you're that rich, I suppose.
There's not been as irresponsible a choice made by authorities as that. There is nothing comparable in the medical world. How about this one?
He's a master of cognitive dissonance. True.
Well, if you get the vaccination, you could still transmit the virus. There's a new one.
That's not new.
Jerusalem Post. Coronavirus. Can a vaccinated person still spread COVID?
Yes.
Several Israeli research teams are getting very promising results that the answer is no. This is from 2 days ago. After nearly 2 months, Israeli data is beginning to confirm what Pfizer already knew. Their coronavirus vaccine stopped symptomatic and severe COVID-19.
That is also true.
There is growing evidence that people who get vaccinated do not spread the virus very much, if at all.
Yeah, I don't think he understands how, like, science works, right? Like, we get preliminary results, and particularly, I'm not sure if, like, at that point we took in the I'm not sure if at that point we took in the Delta variant into consideration. I'm not sure.
So I have a question. Why is Fauci telling people to wear masks even after vaccination?
Because people continue to believe in, because people continue to live enough people are living in a alternate reality, and it's causing the necessity for taking even more preventative measures. So now we're asked to So now we're asked to the folks who got vaccinated are now asked to wear masks to protect those who aren't. That's right. Or the fact that half of our population isn't vaccinated, nor do they wear masks. True. Hey, Elio, how's it going?
Abundance of caution. AOC.
What?
That's what it stands for, AOC. Abundance of caution. Earlier this week,
what a weird
SARS-CoV-2 immunity
tangent.
reinfection evaluation report by Public Health England was pre-printed online by the peer-reviewed Lancet Medical Journal that evaluated staff working in publicly funded hospitals in the UK. The study measured the impact of a single dose of the Pfizer vaccine over an 8-week period and found, quote, strong evidence that vaccinating working-age adults will substantially reduce asymptomatic and symptomatic SARS-CoV-2 infection and therefore reduce transmission of infection in the population.
That's right. Rent-free, folks.
Wearing a mask. I got a question for you folks. How's this? If the vaccine is effective, and it apparently is, why do you care if other people wear masks?
Wait.
Somebody's got to explain that to me.
Wait. You'd almost think that they believe in decommodification of housing the way they let folks live rent-free. That's funny. Wait. So somebody's got to explain to Dennis Prager that other people exist. Amazing. Other people that are not him actually exist. I know. This is a fascinating concept, but other people exist. I know. Somebody explain that to Dennis Prager.
Yeah, I got the vaccination, but you better wear a mask. Or even more bizarre, I'll wear a mask. That's why this nonsense of we'll need passports in order to travel.
Yeah.
If you're worried about contracting the illness, get vaccinated, and that ends the issue. What do you care if I'm vaccinated or not?
Bro. If other people exist, Dennis. Other people exist. I don't know how else to explain that to you. It's not just about you. Can YouTube finally ban this channel? Probably.
We're going to still have to sit in airplanes and breathe in our own carbon dioxide for 5 hours?
That's not how that works. Jesus Christ. You know, Dennis Prager is like a little bit on the older side, right? Next time he has a procedure, he should ask his surgeon to not wear a mask and watch his response.
I can't tell you, I've traveled 130 countries, every single state, basically every week for much of my life.
Uh-oh.
And I not only have no problem with travel, it is a joy. But I rue going to Wisconsin this week, sitting on a plane.
So don't go.
And wearing a mask, knowing what a fraud I'm participating in.
What a fraud.
Total
Hey,
fraud.
buddy.
Because while you eat, you don't have to do it. As it should be. But the ultimate fraud is, if you got a vaccine, why do you care if I wear a mask?
Oh my god. I don't know if I'm gonna recover after this video.
That will be very interesting to hear an answer to.
Try it.
Whoa.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't even realize that was a... Wait, where's the one that he said that, like... Oh, man. Where's the video that he said, Where's the video where he says that,
shoulder. That was like my visual cue to...
that any person who, gets... any doctor who says that, that ivermectin doesn't work, you should then go to another doctor. Because there was a video that I saw, and Dennis Prager was saying that if your doctor doesn't recommend ivermectin, then change your doctor. You need this. Like, you need this. Does Dennis Prager have, like, I don't know, stocks in ivermectin or something in the company that makes it? I mean... Jesus Christ. Yes, we do, yeah, that's kind of not cool, sitting cow. Basically, the idea is, we don't... Hey, the Kevin, how's it going? With these anti-maskers, COVID will stay, yeah, true. Yes, we don't want anyone to get COVID, even Dennis Prager. We want people to hopefully come back down to Earth and act a little bit more rational. I think. A difficult, beautiful morning. Hey! Every accusation is an admission. They want... Yeah, I mean, like, apparently they want COVID to stay or something because they're doing everything to keep it in circulation. So, yeah, I would say that that's pretty, I would say that's a pretty fair argument. I mean, like, even the most simple of preventative measures is such difficult, is such a difficult hassle, right? Even the most basic preventative measures. We are smarter. We know better. We know better. Well, we should know better. Well, they do want the planet to end. Yeah, I suppose. Speaking of which, another, bastion of intelligence. This drill called Fox News lobotomizing me begs to differ. Rand Paul says scientists won't study deworming drug ivermectin use as potential COVID cure. No, there is no cure. You see, this is how I know that this person has absolutely no idea of what they are talking about, right? There's no cure. There are treatments. These are specific terms that someone, even tangentially related to the medical field, should understand. Isn't he an eye doctor? Didn't he give himself a license as well? Yeah, I think that the way he was approved happened to be a board that he created or something like that, or his family created. But even tangentially related to any type of medical field, I believe you should be able to understand the concept, the difference between the concept of a cure and a treatment. There are treatments, there are cures, and there are preventative measures. And these are all three different things, right? So an example would be a vaccine is a preventative measure. Remdesivir is a treatment. We have no cure for COVID. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul said researchers... To be fair, they may have just been the headline writer. What? Oh, true. Wait, hold on, true. Alright, I'll be fair. Hold on. Fine, sitting cow. Fine. Yeah, have you heard about the ruling in Ohio? Which ruling? Can you send that to me? But cure sounds magical and is political language that people understand. I suppose. Well, I mean, someone brought up the point that it could have just been the headline writer. So, fine. Kentucky Rand Paul said researchers won't study the toxic livestock deworming drug ivermectin as a potential COVID treatment. Ah, here we are. Okay. Because of their dislike for former President Trump. No. Because we have inconclusive evidence for it. That's why. The Cincinnati Enquirer first reported on the remarks Paul made on the town hall event for 60 people held at Cold Spring City Council chambers on August 27th. The hatred of Trump deranged these people so much that they're unwilling to objectively study it, even though the FDA is currently opening investigations into it. So, okay. So someone like me that's in the middle of it, I can't tell you because they will not study ivermectin. They will not study hydroxychloroquine without the taint of their hatred for Donald Trump. Wait, they did do studies on it. First of all, in other areas, they did do studies on it. And they found inconclusive results. However, the FDA is currently looking into it. Rand Paul must hate Trump if he doesn't think people should take the vaccines. Yeah. Exactly.
I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccine.
The three top headlines were Ohio hospital being forced to treat patients with ivermectin, efforts to legalize marijuana into Ohio clears another hurdle. Well, I mean, that's good. That's good. Ex-Ohio death rate. Inmate gets $1 million for wrongful imprisonment. Jesus. Could we not be studying it because it's an anti-parasitic and this is a freaking virus? Yeah, but like, we are. That's the thing. The FDA did admit that they were like doing trials. Look, it's right here. Wait. Scientists are studying ivermectin as a coronavirus treatment. The U.S. the NIH, the very own NIH, which like they seem to demonize all the time, is making trials of whether or not it works. The reason why it's so dangerous to promote, or I don't want to say promote, but like to speak on something that hasn't had conclusive hasn't had conclusive results is because people who don't know or who don't understand are listening to this and then going out and like, you know, drinking like fish tank cleaner because it has hydroxychloroquine or whatever, right? Like, no, just wait until we have conclusive evidence of whether or not X, Y, or Z works. That's the whole scientific process. Isn't that a contradiction? They won't study but the FDA is, yeah, he's a walking contradiction. Sorry, not the FDA. I may have misspoke. It may be the NIH who's studying it. Thank you for the follow, so-called events. People are buying so much that some farmers can't even get the livestock version for the animals to worm. Yeah, like, that's not approved for human use. Jesus Christ. He doesn't know whether ivermectin works, but that he keeps a, quote, open mind. So then why are you talking about it until we can get conclusive results? Trump has not pushed ivermectin, but continuously advocated for hydroxychloroquine to treat COVID, but neither drug has proved to be effective in preventing or curing COVID infections. That's because they're not cures. Wait. We don't have a cure for COVID. I don't know how else to, like, say that. U.S. health authorities have warned people against using it. Scientists are studying ivermectin as a coronavirus treatment, and they previously investigated hydroxychloroquine as well. And you know what they found? We have better treatments. We have actual proven treatments, such as remdesivir and Regeneron and monoclonal antibody treatments that actually seem to be pretty effective at treating COVID. So yeah, we have treatments. In the US, the National Institute of Health is conducting a large late-stage trial to see whether ivermectin can help people with mild or moderate COVID cases feel better more quickly. University of Oxford's principal trial is also studying ivermectin as a COVID-19 treatment. So, like, the idea that they're not looking into it because of, like, some Trump derangement syndrome or this hatred for Trump because he spoke about it once, or like this conspiracy that they're trying to hide the, quote, cure for COVID, is just not true. Okay? Trump again with the bleach type stuff. It's just not true. They are looking into it. Hang tight. And if it works, it works. Jesus. Definitely shouldn't take animal drug yet to be proven. Just a few reasons off the top of my head. Dosage is extremely important. And grade of product to prevent contamination. Animal drugs are not held to the same standard. Yeah. Those versions for livestock, they're meant for livestock. Livestock are way bigger than you are. They're much heavier than you are. So the concentration of the drug is going to be much higher. I mean, this is just like common sense, right? I would think that it's common sense to, like, kind of think that way, right? Like, I'm not a horse. Way bigger and live shorter, so cancer is less of a concern. True. Last week, the US FDA urged people to not self-medicate with ivermectin because it is intended for horses and livestock. Okay. The fact that this had to be said, well, you're a sitting cow, apparently. That is true. Right. True. They spread it forward. The types that try this aren't even the types that are doing this out of logic. Right, I would argue that they are, I would argue that they're victims of people who keep pushing something, and they have, you know, they think that what they're hearing is the truth, right? Because of some massive conspiracy or whatnot to hide the treatment or cure for COVID that's cheap and accessible. I would almost argue, like, wait a minute. If people are so desperate for like a cheap and affordable cure or treatment, I should say, that's kind of a verdict on just how bad our healthcare system is, because people are so willing to think that there's a conspiracy to hide a cheap, effective treatment that will not put, you know, if they're in the hospital, that will not put them in a debt, right? So I think that that's part of it. Yes, the vaccines are free. That's also true. That's also true. This is why we tend to advocate for preventative measures, which are better. But in terms of treatment, because our healthcare system is so expensive, they would opt for going to Tractor Supply and rolling the dice. Yeah, too bad we don't have a vaccine. That's unfortunate. They wouldn't even trust a cheap method if the government provided. Yeah, but like, it's not. God, they aren't going to have ivermectin due to it being. They think they know something that we don't, and they're living under a false reality. Yes, that's also. Yeah, that's true. The FDA said in a statement it received reports that people are being hospitalized after using the drug. It acknowledged that initial research was being... Oh yeah, the FDA is also doing research. Wait, initial research, right, preliminaries... Yes, okay, so I did read this somewhere. That they are doing studies about this. Yeah, so there's no massive conspiracy to like hide the efficacy of ivermectin. It acknowledged that initial research was being carried out on the drug's efficacy, but the formula used for animals differ greatly from what humans are supposed to take. Yeah, duh? The CDC also released a health advisory last week cautioning that people could become severely ill from self-medicating with ivermectin because an overdose could cause a coma, seizures, and death. Even the milder side effects of taking too much ivermectin are extremely unpleasant. Yeah. Without getting too graphic, how do I say this? So some people have been reporting that they are pooping ropes after taking ivermectin. And what that is... No, I'm not kidding. What that is not ropes. That's your stomach lining because you're poisoning yourself. That's your stomach lining coming out because you're poisoning yourself. Stop it. Right, spread it forward. Yeah. What if somehow they dewormed themselves? And got rid of that 10-year tapeworm? No, what's happening is that their lining is coming out because of such poison. Sorry, excuse me. According to this doctor, many in the ivermectin Facebook groups are calling the strings oh god, in their poop ropeworms, but Dr. Long said there's no such medical diagnosis. He said people were likely just seeing intestinal mucus or perhaps shedding parts of their lining. Both could look like worms to an untrained eye. Yeah, so okay, that's where I saw it. Here we are. Dr. Long? Yeah. It's part of your intestinal lining. Stop it. Okay? Stop the simulation. I want out. Listen, we need a mulligan on this. We need a mulligan on this one. Thinking Sabercat coming in hot with the 10 biddies. Thank you so much. Where you just cover positive, fun, and bizarre areas of media, science, and environment. You know what? Maybe I think we should do some type of maybe we should do some type of I don't know if we should do it Wednesdays or maybe like on the last day, like Thursdays, where we just have a chill besides like Saturday, a non-doomer interesting stream instead of this. Are you doing the protest tomorrow? Wait, is that like a day off Twitch? That's right. Don't poop your stomach rope. Don't poop your stomach mucus or lining. Just take the vaccine. It's cheaper. It's free. I have extended family who are actually taking this stuff. Oof. We're actually taking this stuff in spite of the fact that they've had people in their immediate family die from COVID. All I have to offer is that their level of ignorance they're working with is scary. Yeah, it is, but I mean, if it's someone that you know, or someone that's like you can talk to, I mean, like try to reach out to them and try to like level with them if you can. I mean, only you know those people one-on-one, and only you would know how to talk to them in their level, because man, I think that like if it's within our purview and if it's within our ability, especially if you know these people like in IRL, I mean, like just try to reach out to them, like I don't know, in a way that will be effective. I mean, Because, geez, man. A day off Twitch about Twitch's handling of hate raids. I don't think that Twitch has... I don't think that Twitch has the, capacity to deal with, quote, hate raids. But they should. But they should try to limit how people are harassed and stuff like that, right? Like, if you just get, like, 1,000, like, bots coming at you, yeah, I mean, those are things I think that Twitch can work on, but I don't know if they'll, like, ever fully stop these things, but they should try to do their best to protect, you know, the community. I mean, I could just switch to YouTube. I could just do that. I could just switch to YouTube and be done. I didn't know it was tomorrow. I mean, like, I generally don't keep up with that kind of stuff because, like, I don't want to feel doomer. I don't want to feel doomer, and I don't want to minimize it. I just feel like I won't be heard, you know? Actually, I was watching CNN and they had Howard Dean, and he said that the possibility of not wiping out COVID might be off the table now. Well, we've had these rumblings for quite some time now, and it is a possibility. I don't think that the medical community hasn't taken that into consideration. I mean, there have been rumblings about that for a few months now, I think. Commander root, also root's account. I see. So we commander root is to make, like, universal commands, right? This tool lets you remove followers from Twitch account. You can filter out the follower by follow date creation and time between account creation and follow and username. Okay. I mean, this is good. I'm gonna keep this because somebody brought this up to me yesterday. Wait, was it yesterday? Very soon. Very recently, I should say. Yeah, I got a lot. Oh, it was a chap. The chap brought it up to me. Oh, I see. This is actually a good tool. Maybe I need to switch to Firefox. He was also saying this current toxic distrust for government is so dangerous. If the polio vaccine had been in the current climate, there'd be blind or paralyzed children now due to this internet-created distrust. Yeah, yikes. I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna save this. Nonetheless, people continue to take ivermectin. The CDC's numbers show that from early July, the week of August 13, pharmacies have filled more than 88,000 prescriptions of ivermectin. Clinical studies have also shown that hydroxychloroquine, an anti-malarial drug, does not help treat but prevent COVID. The FDA cautioned against using hydroxychloroquine after finding the drug could cause serious heart problems, lymph and node disorders, kidney injuries, and liver problems, including liver failure. The truth is so difficult today. True. Yeah, so this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Doesn't help that the government has been lying about a bunch of stuff, and then we found out they were true. It was true and they were lying. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no. I agree. Kalo, I agree that there is some blame to be put on previous actions, which obviously I understand, but like at the same time, we have to like separate these things, and it's like we have to be a little bit more on the ground, like feet on the ground, and say like, okay, look, I get it. It's okay to be skeptical of the government. However, X, Y, or Z, right? Yeah, it's like the boy who cried wolf. Correct. Here's some excellent news that I'm sure everybody here is going to be surprised. If Congress doesn't implement a new eviction ban, 750,000 of American households could be evicted later this year. Yeah, 750,000. Now, that being said, why is the first thing that you think about is trying to implement a new eviction ban? Why is the first sentence, unless we implement a new eviction ban? I believe that there's more fundamental problems behind this, so why don't you fix that? Yeah, exactly, Larry Vaccinated. Like, even if you don't believe a word that the government says, there's like plurality of data and the international scientific community would be then the people you turn to, right? Like, you don't have to trust the government. Trust the plurality of what the experts who know what they're talking about are actually saying. Easy. Like debt forgiveness. That's part of it. Sure. But instead, the first thing that they put here are we need a new eviction ban. No, we don't. We need adequate addressing of this problem. Goldman Sachs estimate that between 2.5 million and 3.5 million households are significantly behind on rent, owing a combined 12 billion to 17 billion to landlords. Those renters appeared to be safe from eviction until at least October, until the Supreme Court last week struck down the Biden administration ban on evictions, indicating that further action must come from Congress. At the same time, most state-level restrictions on evictions are scheduled to expire over the next month, which Goldman Sachs analysts noted in the Sunday night report. The end of the eviction moratorium is likely to result in a sharp increase in eviction rates in the coming months unless emergency rental assistance funding is distributed at a much faster pace or Congress addresses the issue. Without faster aid or new legislation, Goldman Sachs estimates 750,000 households will face eviction this fall and winter. I'd also like to point out that this fall and winter is about a couple months from now. The Wall Street Bank noted that roughly half of all U.S. eviction filings resulted in eviction between 2006 and 2016. Part of the problem appears to be trouble getting government aid out the door. The process of recovering back rent through emergency rental assistance programs has been disappointingly slow. Goldman Sachs analyst wrote, even though the U.S. Treasury Department has disbursed $25 billion to state and local governments and has another $20 billion available, just $4.5 billion has been distributed. Jesus. The Census Bureau estimated last week that 1.3 million are very likely to get evicted in the next 2 months. That same report estimated more than 2.2 million people applied for rental assistance through state or local governments and either did not hear back or were denied. The strength of the housing and rental market suggests landlords will try to evict tenants who are delinquent on rent unless they obtain federal assistance. The firm predicted evictions could be particularly pronounced in the cities hardest hit by COVID because those areas have stronger apartment rental markets. An eviction crisis, should it emerge, would not only cause hardship for individual families, it could also impact the pandemic and economic recovery as well as inflation. Benjamin Dixon rating with a party of 55. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, the first step, like 10,000 for corporate landlords at the bottom of the sea, really putting in a universal system for eviction stopping and maybe states buying the households from landlords that have something like the UK council house system, expropriate the corporate landlords, nationalize public housing for all. Jamtoom. Good morning from Like It or Not. Howdy, howdy. Welcome, everybody. If you guys don't know who we are, I am A Difficult Truth. We do news and politics Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Join us for Saturday Catterdays on noon Eastern Time. We do news and politics, and if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to follow. Yeah. How are you this morning? I'm doing all right. I got my coffee. Well, had my coffee on one hand, and just dooming. Just dooming. Please check out, if you don't already, the Benjamin P. Dixon Show. We do it in the AM. Good morning. By the way, oh, this reminds me. Do you still need that ability to ban multiple bots at the same time? I think that we were talking about this earlier in the week. Darknet, do you know how to ban multiple accounts at the same time? Like, for example, if you had like a bunch of bots, do you know how to ban bots and alts all at once, or do you have to do it manually? Because that's how I've been doing it. I've been doing it manually. Okay. You can do it with a paste bin using Passata bot. Okay. So I believe Jamtoom is a moderator for the Benjamin Dixon Show. So I think that they may need some assistance with that. So the first thing that you need, Jamtoom, if you haven't already, get Passata bot for the Twitch channel. I worked for President candidate Lenora Fulani in the 1996. She advocated for permanent eviction ban then. A permanent eviction ban. Wait. So, in other words, there would be no such thing as evictions. Interesting. Goldman Sachs estimated a small drag on spending and job growth from the projected 750,000 evictions and an easing of shelter inflation in 2022. The implications for COVID infections and public health are probably more severe. Yeah. Yeah. So this is going to be if it if the evictions start happening like this, we're going to see a pretty big problem, and that should sound alarm bells to everybody, you know, because 750. The conservative number that I saw in that entire article was 750,000 people. That's a lot of people who are about to lose their homes in the next couple of months. So I think that the first thing that needs to happen in the immediate, because this is what's in the immediate is what we can do right now, is to get that rental assistance that has been clogged up in the states or local governments out immediately, and then figure out how we solve this housing crisis, right? What can we do to effectively eliminate homelessness? And how you want to go about that is entirely up to you. There are different ways that you can implement programs. There are different ways that you can enact different programs. You can even go as far as saying, look, there's a bunch of abandoned abandoned motels or houses that are just collecting dust. Why doesn't the government create a buyback program and just start doing governmental housing? There you go. There you go. We should strive to do everything that we can to eliminate homelessness in this country. I mean, like, it's kind of embarrassing, right? It's embarrassing. We should do everything that we can to eliminate homelessness. So how you want to go about it is different pathways. You can either construct new apartments, or you can take hotels or motels that aren't in use and start renovating them for governmental apartments. You can create a kind of like a governmental buyback program for houses that are just sitting there. And the government can then say, like, look, bro, you've had this for like 3 years and it's just sitting there collecting dust. How about I give you X for it? And then start creating like governmental housing like that. I mean, there's different ways of doing it. That's right, Callow. We had a discussion on Pain last night with OG Prodigy, and others may have come up with a path forward. We all rely on Posadabad, and it's awesome, but it doesn't catch the one that he has been making rounds and harassing the group. It even came in Lion this morning, so we think we need our viewers to help us request tools from Twitch that are more effective, such as blocks and bans that give the troll a screen telling them that they've been banned, and rate approval options. Ooh. Ah, man, that would be great. That would kind of short circuit any type of like hate raids, right? You can kind of like filter out who you get a raid from. Sorry, it's like acting... My mouse is acting really, really weird. Stop it. Okay. Hate raids are a thing? Yeah, they are. We discussed it on Lilith Fan last night for a good while. I just got someone doing exploits on Twitch. They actually made your tab crash when going to channel, and then when I got around it, I filmed them running their program and say they're doing exploits. What? It like showing people how to like mess with others? Jesus. Like, what is the what is the necessity to mess with people? I mean, listen, I'm just doing my thing, all right? I'm just doing my thing in my own little corner. What is the necessity for like messing with people? Oh, maybe you're right, Dickie. Maybe I'm low battery and I'm not even realizing it. Shoot. Yeah, it's... But like, what... The question is, like, A, does Twitch care? B, what can they do? Right? I don't know if they can stop everything. I suppose that we will see. I mean, definitely we have to take matters defensive measures within our own communities, and if anything, this should strengthen our if anything, this should strengthen our links to just address this problem as a whole, right? Cause and diverse LGBTQ plus people to run away from the site, which absolutely cannot do. They just refuse. Yes, I heard. That's also like who they're targeting too. From my understanding, there are numerous things that they can do, but they don't care about us streamers. They care about the audience. They have to pay back bot ad views, so we have outlets to get them to listen on the revenue side. Yeah, I mean, like you would have to really like go up to Twitch and be like, "Hey, bro, you are actually negatively affecting your revenue. Do something about this." But you got to do it in a way that they'll actually like listen. I don't know. They said to someone they were exploiting and having fun. What? But they scanned categories and it was showing the username, the game, plus the viewer number. So they were messing with like people based on that. If Twitch wants the people have like Southern on a platform, it's going to attract type of people that do this stuff. Yeah, I mean, you made a good point. You know, it just magically so happened that this started right after. Yeah, it's a good point. I said this yesterday. I didn't think about that. But yeah, that's a good point. It just happens. Just happened to be right after. We need our audiences tweeting and talking about it. That's who they'll listen to. Yeah, I mean, we need to make it enough of a problem that they'll actually listen. Like, we need to build up enough momentum so that they'll have no other choice but to listen. Promoting exploits in stream is a federal crime. If Twitch doesn't care, the FBI might. Well, here's the thing, Larry Vaccinated. They don't. They have gambling streams. They literally allow gambling streams on Twitch. They literally allow gambling streams on Twitch, which are, from what I understand, not legal. So basically, it is a mutual aid and Posada bot or nothing unless our audiences can raise Cain about it. Yeah, basically. I mean, like, irrelevant, Jam Tomb, it should be that our communities are in constant communication. Like, if you see something, say something. If you see, like, if you find that there's, like, a group of bots that you've located, just point it out. And, I mean, I know it's rough, but, like, if anything, it should strengthen our communities, and just kind of like, you see something, say something. If you see a bunch of bots, or if you know of something that's of an account that keeps going around and doing X, Y, or Z, just say something, you know. But if you look at my last stream, it has their name showing video. I think it was Twitch or with a number, not the O. Huh. I'm looking for Posada bot. I think it's with an O. Like that. I believe it's with an O. Do you want to circle Troll's most recent name? I banned them in 5 other channels. I usually try to make sure that I get the Posada bot to see them so everyone sees them. Yeah, is this like the same troll? What is their username? Most recent name, I suppose. In the meantime, we've got a couple of more headlines to go through. Hurricane Ida, folks. Alright, well, just in case, we'll preemptive. Preemptive strike here. The creator of Posada is pretty backed up. I sent a message ages ago, not heard back. Heard a few others say the same. Yeah, it's one guy, unfortunately. So I would say, hang tight. And again, if you see something, say something. And any, you know, usernames that are bots or usernames that are, like doing this type of stuff. Because I think from what I understand, from what I understand, hate raids are just a bunch of bots that come in there and say a whole bunch of like really bad stuff, right? Is that what it is? Wednesday vows to battle hate raids in response to complaints about harassment of women and players of color. The Amazon-owned platform for sharing videos and gameplay commentaries and updated filtering tools to better detect hate speech in chat forums. More improvements are on the way. Hate rates are overwhelming streamer, abusive remarks, sometimes automated or bot accounts. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, again, if you see something, like, just bring it up to everybody. Jesus. This sounds like corporate speak to me. We're launching channel level ban evasion detection and account verification improvements later this year. We're working hard to launch these tools as soon as possible, and we hope they will have a big impact. This sounds like some corpo speak. Yeah, I mean, if you see that, especially if people are out there like unironically trying to exploit other channels via hacking, please, if you see something, say something. Easy. to a point, I'm kind of glad that I exist in my own little corner, and that my level of harassment is very limited. Don't step in it, smells like business. Yeah, that sounded like a lot of corpo speak. But you know, we will see. It's very disruptive to the streaming audience, been nonstop for what it feels like for weeks. I'm telling streamers to just spam their ads if they have them when hate raiders come in, because there's not much else to do while you ban all of them. Yeah, I suppose. Speaking of which, it is 10:30, so I need to take a quick break. We've got 3 more articles to go, and then we've got to continue on our journey through the IPCC report. So just give me 1 second, folks. I will be right back. I just need to use the restroom really quickly. And also an opportunity to show for myself. Folks, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the YouTubes, and follow, like, comment, share, do all that awesome stuff, and join our Discord for awesome offline conversations and movie nights. Yeah, that's right, movie nights. So hang out with us in the Discord, follow us on Twitter, YouTubes, Twitch, all that awesome stuff. You guys are what makes this channel grow, so I appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much for the Benjamin P. Dixon show for the raid. Thank you, Jam Tomb. Thank you, Sabercat, for the biddies and all the new follows. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed the content, don't forget to spread the word far and wide that this is one of the chillest places to be for news and politics in the AM. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Saturdays, noon Eastern Time. I will be right back. All right. Thank you, folks. Sorry about that. All right. Hurricane Ida was one of the largest storms, if not the largest storm, to hit Louisiana since the 1850s. Very, very destructive. These images show just how bad Hurricane Ida hit Louisiana's coastline. I mean, look at that. Hurricane Ida's fierce Category 4 winds and torrential rain left Louisiana coastline badly beaten. Images of the affected areas days after the storm showed crushed homes, debris scattered across the streets, and flooded neighborhoods. As cleanup is underway, officials are warning residents who evacuated not to return to their homes yet just due to the severe damage. I mean, Jesus. That's so, disheartening to see. How did a house get on top of a car? It probably got, this probably had another section. Because it looks like columns that just collapsed. So that may have been, where, I guess a garage or some type of carport would have been. It seems. Because those look like support beams that just gave. Oh, also on that Jam Tomb, should you happen to experience a hate raid that's really bad, turn on subscriber mode. Turn on sub mode or follower mode immediately. When the storm made landfall, its winds were as high as 150 miles per hour, which tore roofs from homes and trees off the roots. It was eventually downgraded to a tropical depression by Monday as it moved across the Mississippi. Also from reports, it temporarily changed the flow of the Mississippi River. It reversed it. Hurricane Ida hit New Orleans on the 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, the costliest storms on U.S. history. Katrina, which caused massive damage to New Orleans, was a Category 3 when it hit. Though it was a weaker storm, it was much larger in size than Hurricane Ida, which experts attribute to why Katrina caused so much damage. The winds knocked out power in New Orleans, including temporarily the
Thanks for the stream.
Thank you, Dustin, for the $25 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning. Thank you. Super poggers. I get anxious and flustered when big bots rates hit and everything I know flies right out of my melon. Yeah. Helps me hear the steps over and over. Brain fog is real. True. I remember, Bleep Blop Ben was raided by Torsays or something like that. It was, a QAnon stream, and I mean, over 1,200 folks came in from a QAnon stream. It was so bad that that Ben had to temporarily mod extra people, including myself, to kind of like fight the fight the raid. The winds knocked out power in New Orleans temporarily, including temporarily the city's 911 emergency response system and surrounding areas. More than 1 million residents are still without power early Tuesday. It's unclear when the power will be restored to most residents, but officials believe it may last more than a month for some people. Yikes. Oh, that's a good... Hold on, that's a great point. Trolls like seeing their names on it? True, I didn't think about that. Why are people like this? Yeah, I might have to, like, take that one out for a while. It's a good tool for get rid of the followers if you don't want them to F your metrics. True. Hey Wiz, how's it going? Yeah, some people will be out for without power for a month. Yep. Aww. TLDR, this is very bad. Hold on, folks. You're in for a treat. A 0 out of 10, not a dog. I tried, okay? She was not having it. When I've been hit, I lived on Florida Panhandle and had a newborn. I got away just before it hit and had to stay away for nearly 3 months. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, you'd think the first world mega power would have figured out that kind of problem out by now. Yeah, we don't have good infrastructure because a lot of these like energy grids and stuff like that are privately owned. And they don't take adequate they don't take adequate precautions. Look at this. That's horrifying. Jesus. It looks like tornado damage. Yeah. I mean, wasn't there reports of like tornadoes as well? Or maybe those were just tornado warnings. Floating wind turbines could open up vast ocean tracts for renewable power. To evacuate and have to live through it, I was incredibly lucky. Yeah, yeah, Jamtoon. But that was part of one of the articles I saw where people tried to evacuate, but they couldn't. They couldn't. 140-mile-an-hour winds will do that, yep. They said the wall of the hurricane was like a 15-mile wide F3 tornado. Jesus Christ. In the stormy waters of North Sea, 50 miles off the coast of Aberdeenshire in Scotland, 5 floating offshore wind turbines stretch 570 feet above the water. The world's first floating wind farm, a 30-megawatt facility run by Norwegian company Equinor, has only been in operation since 2017, but has already broken UK records for energy output. Interesting. I think that this might be I think that this could potentially be something down the road. The ability to install turbines in deeper waters where the winds tend to be stronger opens up huge amounts of ocean to generate renewable energy, renewable wind power. Close to 80% of potential offshore wind power is found deep in deeper waters. In addition, positioning floating turbines much further off the coast avoids conflicts with those who object to the impact on coastal views. Yeah, okay. I don't know, Wiz. If people didn't have to pay 2/3 of their income over a roof over their heads, you'd think that they could maybe evacuate from these kind of disasters. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's true. They made abortion laws to always have wage slaves. Never forget Trump suggested nuking hurricanes to stop them from coming. True. True. Yeah, Jam Tomb is a difficult truth. True. True. And also use a Sharpie to project his own predictions about where one will hit. Yeah, because Donald Trump, the known weather person, a known meteorologist. Not sure how much of it is to ensure labor force and how much just to exercise power over women. Well, I always thought of it always as at the core of it is to control women. I always thought that. I don't know. So this is interesting, and I think that we could potentially see something here. And the last headline of the day, finally, after 20 long years, the U.S. Army is completely, the deployed army has completely evacuated Afghanistan. It is over. At least the conventional deployment. Hey, Tina. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Alright, some quick shoutouts. Alright, before we finalize, before we go into real doomer hours, please check out twitch.tv/AlioShare, twitch.tv/JamedTomb, twitch.tv/The Benjamin P. Dixon Show themselves. Thank you. Twitch.tv/Tina_2. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. These are phenomenal creators, and if you aren't, you should be following them. Brad Crochets. I'm not irrelevant, sadly. Well, you're not irrelevant, that's for sure. But
Please clap.
Alright, that was my dad joke for the year. Alright, that was my dad joke for the year. Oh, okay, no problem. I don't have any other great BIPOC or POC options. Hey, awesome. And another phenomenal person, twitch.tv/LostZoo. Please go check them out. I like it here, so I make David Ben's producer rate here when I don't have another great BIPOC or POC option. Nice. Nice. I appreciate that. So, yes, it's over. The final troops have left Afghanistan, and that's it. 20 years. 20 years. And 20 years and nothing to show for except death, destruction, and debt. But it's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. And I hope that this doesn't mean that we're going to find excuses for another quotation marks conflict. I hope that this is a lesson that will be ingrained in us, and I hope that this will teach us to reorganize our priorities and actually do something like good for example, healthcare. All those trillions and trillions of dollars. Can we get healthcare? Yeah, it's far past time that we left. Yeah, I mean, I understand the concerns, Jamtoom. I hope that this is a lesson, and I hope that this means that maybe we can reorganize our priorities, and all that can be directed to getting healthcare, to addressing climate change, to getting people education, housing. I mean, so much was thrown away. Billions, trillions, and trillions and trillions of dollars thrown away. Thousands of troops, millions of civilian casualties. Millions of civilian casualties. All for what? I'm hoping with you, I keep playing tobacco, and at least once a weekly lately. It makes it to my medication wheel. Meditation, I hope and fear both. Right now, I'm pretty equal measure, sadly. Well, just imagine all of that if we never went in the first place. Imagine what we could have. Should we have decided to reorganize our priorities into like healthcare and housing and education, and make sure that people don't starve in this country? Just think about that. All right, folks. Now the real doom begins. But housing just makes people healthy. War makes few people rich. Lots of money. True. That's right. We can't have that. Yeah, sorry. Hold on, folks. Yeah, I apologize. Maybe I'm being too radical. Maybe I'm being too radical. I gotta tone it down. You know, I start talking about healthcare. I start talking about healthcare and housing and stuff like that. And I'm sorry. I'm just moving way too in the radical direction. I was almost annoyed at people for being surprised at this until I realized it wasn't their fault. The government was lying about it. Oh yeah, this entire time. When I tried to talk about this years earlier, people would get really upset and offensive about it, and I totally get it. Yeah, well, they were being, I mean, till this day, like, remember the Afghan papers that just came out, I think, was it this year that the Afghan papers came out, or last year? Was it this year, and or was it last year that the Afghan papers came out? And like, I mean, there wasn't there. like, again, I have like bootlegged photographic memory, but wasn't there like a literal 2 years ago. 2 years ago, thank you. Wasn't there literally a video of Nancy Pelosi saying that we knew that they were lying about the weapons of mass destruction 10 years after the fact? I'm pretty sure there was a video about Nancy Pelosi saying that they knew that the weapons of mass destruction was a lie, but they let it fly anyways. I'm pretty sure there's a video about that. There's a video on that. Yeah, Osama wasn't even in Afghanistan. Yeah, that whole thing was a premise. The premise was, we need to make sure that there is no hotbed for terrorist activities, and then like we then claimed to do the thing, but stayed there way after. Like, was that really the sort? Like, was that really the motive? Because I don't know. I feel like it's hard to believe the official narrative. Yes, there are lots of recordings like that. Okay, so yeah, I know that somewhere at some point I've seen Nancy Pelosi say that we knew about the lies of X, Y, and Z and we just let it go anyways. Like, wait.
Wait, before you scroll away.
Oh man. Alright, if we have time, we'll play this one, but we really gotta get through this. Hey K-How, how's it going? Are we confusing the Panama Papers? No, that's different. No, that's different. The Panama Papers are different than the Afghan papers. Alright, page 57. Carbon cycle processes and projections. The carbon cycle responds to four things: the figure changes in carbon storage and response levels to elevated CO2, and the response to climate warming. Maps show spatial patterns of changes in carbon uptake during the simulations with 1% per year increase in CO2. And zonal mean plots show distribution of carbon changes is dominated by the land. In the tropics, northern hemisphere, and ocean in the southern hemisphere, hatching indicates regions where fewer than 80% of models agree on the sign of response. Future CO2 projections projected CO2 concentrations in the SSP scenarios in response to anthropogenic emissions resulted from the coupled ESMs for SSP5 8.5 and from the MAGIC C7 emulator for other scenarios. Future carbon fluxes projected combined land and ocean fluxes positive downward up to 2100 for the SSP scenarios and extended to the 2300 to year 2300 for available scenarios. 5 to 95% uncertainty plumes show for SSP 1 to 2.6 and SSP 3 to 7.0. Scenarios 5.4, 5.4. Yeah, these are the these are the sections where these tables are listed. Really, the only leader with 100% claim of the war was WDMD, was Tony Blair. Oh, I saw that last one that he did. Yikes. Same, Jam Tomb. The numbers near the top show the number model simulations used. Sink fraction, the fraction of cumulative CO2 removed by land and ocean sinks. The sink fraction is smaller under conditions of higher emissions. Yeah. That makes sense. Land climate including biosphere and extremes. Land surface air temperatures have risen faster than global surface temperatures since the 1850s, and it is virtually certain that this differential warming will persist into the future. It is virtually certain that the frequency and intensity of hot extremes and the intensity of duration of heat waves have increased since 1950 and will further increase in the future even if global warming is stabilized at 1.5 degrees Celsius. So, I think that this is very clear. This is some real doomer stuff, but it should only strengthen our resolve to try to bring awareness to this and try to build political pressure to get something done, something within the time that we have. Because already it's almost guaranteed, virtually certain, that even if we stabilize at 1.5 degrees Celsius, I mean, a lot of these things are still locked in. That the frequency and intensity of heavy precipitation events have increased over a majority of those land regions with good observational coverage, high confidence, and will extremely likely increase over most continents with additional global warming. Over the past half-century, key aspects of the biosphere have changed in ways that are consistent with large-scale warming. Climate zones have shifted poleward, and the growing season length in North Hemisphere extratropics has increased, high confidence. The amplitude of seasonal cycle of atmospheric CO2 poleward of 45 degrees north has increased since the 1960s, very high confidence, with increasing productivity of the land biosphere due to increasing atmospheric CO2 concentrations as the main driver, medium confidence. Global scale vegetation greenness has increased in 1980s, high confidence. Observed temperature over land has increased 1.61. In other words, 1.34 to 1.83 83 degrees Celsius between the periods of 1850 and 1900, and 2011 to 2020. Warming of the land is about 45% larger than for global surface temperatures and about 80% larger than warming of the ocean surface. Warming of the land surface during the periods of 1971 to 2018 contributed about 5% of increase in the global energy inventory, nearly twice the estimate in AR5. Jesus Christ. Jam2 is awesome. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. Wait, I didn't give Jam2 a proper shout out. I just realized that. If you'd like to see some cool stuff, check them out. Check them out. It is virtually certain that average surface warming over land will continue to be higher than over the ocean throughout the 21st century. The warming patterns will likely vary seasonally, with northern high latitudes warming more during winter than summer, medium confidence. The frequency and intensity of hot extremes, warm days and nights, and the intensity and duration of heat waves have increased globally and in most regions since 1950, while the frequency and intensity of cold extremes have decreased, virtually certain. There is high confidence that the increase in frequency and severity of hot extremes are due to human-induced climate change. I mean, in how many different ways can this report tell us that we are the ones who are causing this problem? Some recent extreme events would have been extremely unlikely to occur without human influence on the climate system. It is virtually certain that further changes in hot and cold extremes will occur throughout the 21st century in nearly all inhabited regions, even if global warming is stabilized at 1.5 degrees Celsius. Greater warming over land alters key water cycle characteristics. The rate of change in mean precipitation and runoff and their variability increases with global warming. The majority of the land area has experienced decrease in available water during dry seasons due to overall increase in evapotranspiration, medium confidence. The land area affected by increasing drought frequency and severity will expand with increasing global warming, high confidence. There's low confidence that increase of plant water use efficiency due to higher atmospheric CO2 concentration alleviates extreme agricultural and ecological droughts and conditions characterized by limited soil moisture and increased atmospheric evaporative demand. Northern Hemisphere spring snow cover has increased since at least 1978. High confidence, very high confidence, and there's high confidence that trends in snow cover loss extend back to 1950. It is very likely that human influence contributed to these reductions. Earliest onset of snowmelt has contributed to seasonally dependent changes in streamflow, high confidence. Further decrease in northern hemisphere seasonal snow cover extent is virtually certain under further global warming. The frequency and intensity of heavy precipitation events have increased over a majority of land regions with good observational coverage since 1950, high confidence. Human influence is likely the main driver of this change. It is extremely likely that on most continents, heavy precipitation will become more frequent and more intense with additional global warming. In other words, yeah, more like flash floods, I guess. The projected increase in heavy precipitation extremes translate to an increase in frequency and magnitude. Oh yeah, there we go. Of pluvial floods. Let's Google that because I have no idea what that means. Surface water flooding pluvial is caused when the ground is oversaturated and drainage systems are overflowed and the excess water cannot be absorbed or drained away. Pluvial flooding can be caused by sustained rain or quick... Yeah, so like flash floods. Yeah, kind of. Pluvial flooding can be caused by sustained rain or quick, heavy rainfall that cannot be absorbed fast enough. Interesting. I'm really reminded of the Earth's mass extinction, as most people think dinosaurs' ending was bad. There was a period much earlier where the atmosphere had much oxygen, leading to global cooling. Oops. In a period known as the Snowball Earth, when 97.5% of all biological life died, with only life in the deep oceans and volcanic vents. Next mass extinction could solve mammalian life wiped out and only deep ocean life surviving. Maybe. We already have flash flooding really bad in my area thanks to cement poured. Yep. Of pluvial floods. The probability of compound extreme events has likely increased due to human-induced climate change. Concurrent heat waves and droughts have become more frequent over the last century, and this trend will continue with higher global warming. The probability of compound flooding, storm surge, extreme rainfall, or river flow has increased in some locations and will continue to increase due to both sea level rise and increases in heavy precipitation, including changes in precipitation intensity associated with tropical cyclones. Changes in key aspects of terrestrial biosphere, such as increase of growing season length in much of northern hemisphere extratropics since the mid-20th century, high confidence, are consistent with large-scale warming. At the same time, an increase in amplitude of the seasonal cycle of atmospheric CO2 beyond 45 degrees north since the early 1960s, high confidence, and a global-scale increase in vegetation greenness of the terrestrial surface since the early 1980s have been observed, high confidence. Increased atmospheric CO2 warming at high latitudes and land management interventions have contributed to the absorbed greening trend, but there is low confidence in their relative roles. There is medium confidence that increase in plant growth associated with CO2 fertilization is the main driver for observed increase in amplitude of the seasonal cycle of atmospheric CO2 in the northern hemisphere. That's right, fifth dimension. Lawns are also terrible at absorbing heavy rain. True. Hey, Anarchist Laboratory, Sean, how's it going? Yeah, I think you're right. I think my mouse is running out of battery. Uh-oh. Please check out twitch.tv/anarchist laboratory, please. And I'm trying to... Can I get my mouse back? Hello? Hello? Let's try this again. Okay. Okay. I think it's fine. Increase in atmospheric CO2 warming in high latitudes and land management interventions have contributed to observed greening trend, but there's low confidence in their relative roles. There's medium confidence that increased plant growth associated with CO2 fertilization is the main driver of the observed increase in amplitude of the seasonal cycle of atmospheric CO2 in the northern hemisphere. Reactive nitrogen, ozone, and aerosol affects terrestrial vegetation and carbon cycle through deposition and effects on large-scale radiation. High confidence, but the magnitude of these effects on the land carbon sink, ecosystem productivity, and indirect CO2 forces remain uncertain. I think, yeah, I mean, we knew about this Tendera way before. Over the last century, there's been a poleward and upslope shift in distribution of many land species, very high confidence, as well as an increase in species turnover with many ecosystems, high confidence. There is high confidence that the geographical distribution of climate zones has shifted in many parts of the world in the last half century. The SRCCL concluded that continued warming will exacerbate the desertification process and ecosystems will become exposed to climate beyond those that they are currently adapted to. There's high confidence. There's medium confidence that climate change will increase disturbance by, for example, fire and tree mortality across several ecosystems. Increases are projected in drought, aridity, and fire weather in some regions. There's low confidence in the magnitude of these changes, but the probability of crossing uncertain regional thresholds, example fires and forest dieback, increases with further warming. The response to biogeochemical cycles to anthropogenic perturbations can be abrupt at regional scales and irreversible on decadal to century timescales. High confidence. Land changes relative... Oh yeah, this is a figure. The water cycle. Human-caused climate change has driven detectable changes in the global water cycle since the mid-20th century, high confidence, and it is projected to cause substantial further change at both global and regional scales, high confidence. Global land precipitation has likely increased since the 1950s with a faster increase since the 1980s. Medium confidence. Atmospheric water vapor has increased throughout the troposphere since at least the 1980s, likely. Annual global land precipitation will increase over the 21st century as global surface temperatures increase. Human influence has been detected in amplified surface salinity and precipitation minus evaporation patterns over the ocean. High confidence. The severity of very wet and very dry events increase in a warming climate. High confidence. But changes in atmospheric circulation patterns affect where and how often these extremes occur. Water cycle variability and related extremes are projected to increase faster than mean changes in most regions of the world and under all emission scenarios. Jesus. Over the 21st century, the total land area subject to drought will increase and droughts will become more frequent and more severe. There's high confidence. Near-term projected changes in precipitation and uncertainty, mainly because of internal variability and model uncertainty in forcings from natural and anthropogenic aerosols, medium confidence. Over the 21st century and beyond, abrupt human-caused changes to the water cycle cannot be excluded. There is high confidence that global water cycle has intensified since at least 1980, expressed by, for example, an increase in atmospheric moisture fluxes and amplified precipitation minus evaporation patterns. Global land precipitation has likely increased since 1950, and with a faster increase since 1980s, medium confidence and likely human contribution to pattern change, particularly for increases in high-latitude precipitation over the northern hemisphere. Increases in global mean precipitation are determined by robust responds to global surface temperature, very likely 2 to 3% per degree Celsius. That is partly offset by fast atmospheric adjustments to atmospheric heating by greenhouse gases and aerosols. The overall effect of anthropogenic aerosols is to reduce global precipitation through surface radiative cooling effects, high confidence. Over much of the 20th century, opposing effects of GHGs and aerosols on precipitation have been observed for some regional monsoons, high confidence. Global annual precipitation over land is projected to increase on average by 2.4%, minus 0.2% to 4.7 likely range under the SSP 1.9, 4.6%, 1.5 to 8.3 likely range under the SSP 2 to 4.5, and 8.3, in other words 0.9 to 12.9% likely range under the SSP 5 to 8.5 by 2081-2100 relative to 1995 to 2014. Intermodal differences and internal variability contribute to a substantial range in projections of large-scale and regional water cycle changes, high confidence. The occurrence of volcanic eruptions can alter the water cycle for years, high confidence. Projected patterns of precipitation change exhibit substantial regional differences and seasonal contrasts as global surface temperatures increase over the 21st century. Ooh. It's interesting that global rainfall is increasing despite of all the droughts. Yeah, it depends on the area, right? So, like, I guess on the average of global scale, there is more precipitation, but that's going to be by area, I believe, right? Because there's going to be some areas that are going to be experiencing really bad droughts, prolonged and harsher droughts. And there's going to be areas that are going to experience prolonged and intense rain, causing like flash floods and stuff. Global total column water vapor content has very likely increased since the 1980s, and it is likely that human influence has contributed to tropical upper tropospheric moistening. Near surface specific humidity has increased over the ocean, likely, and land, very likely, since at least the 1970s, with a detectable human influence, medium confidence. Human influence has been detected in amplified surface salinity and precipitation minus evaporation patterns over the ocean, high confidence, and it is virtually certain that evaporation will increase over the ocean, and very likely that evapotranspiration will increase over land, with regional variations under future surface warming. There's high confidence that projected increases in precipitation amount and intensity will be associated with increased runoff in northern high latitudes. In response to cryosphere changes, there have been changes in streamflow seasonality, including earlier currents to peak streamflow in high latitude and mountain catchments. High confidence. Projected runoff is typically decreased by contributions from small glaciers because glacier mass loss, while runoff from large glaciers will generally increase with increasing global warming levels until their mass has become depleted. Yikes. Warming over land drives an increase in atmospheric evaporation demand and in the severity of drought events. Greater warming over land than over the ocean alters atmospheric circulation patterns and reduces continental near-surface relative humidity, which contributes to regional drying, high confidence. A very likely decrease in relative humidity has occurred over much of the global land area since 2000. Projected increases in evapotranspiration due to growing atmospheric water demand will decrease soil moisture. Over the Mediterranean region, Southwest North America, South Africa, Southwestern South America, and Southwestern Australia, high confidence. Some tropical regions are also projected to experience enhanced aridity, including the Amazon Basin and Central America, high confidence. Yikes. In the Mediterranean, Southwestern South America, and Western North America, future aridification will far exceed the magnitude of change seen in the last millennium. Land use change and water extraction for irrigation have influenced local and regional responses in the water cycle, high confidence. Large-scale deforestation likely likely decreases evapotranspiration and precipitation and increases runoff over the deforested regions relative to regional effects of climate change, medium confidence. Urbanization increases local precipitation, medium confidence, and runoff intensity, high confidence. Increased precipitation intensities have enhanced groundwater recharge most notably in the tropical regions, medium confidence. There's high confidence that groundwater depletion has occurred since at least the start of the 21st century as a consequence of groundwater withdrawals from irrigation and agriculture areas in drylands. Oop. Hold on, folks. I'm gonna delete my mask. It makes sense. Hurricane Harvey literally dumped the Gulf Coast on us just in a matter of a few days. So in certain areas, we're gonna get flash floods and mass quantities of rain. And in other areas like the West, are getting hardly anything at all. Yeah, true. Here in Iowa, our neighbors in Minnesota have been dealing with more prairie fires than usual. It's a goddamn tinderbox out here. Yikes. Yikes. Agriculture in drylands is pretty much all cattle. True. Water cycle variability and related extremes are projected to increase faster than mean change in most regions of the world and under all emission scenarios. A warmer climate increases moisture transport into the weather systems, which intensify wet seasons and events. High confidence. The magnitudes of projected precipitation increases in related extreme events depend on model resolution and representation of convective processes. High confidence. Increase in near-surface atmospheric moisture capacity of about 7% per 1 degree Celsius of warming leads to a similar response in the intensification of heavy precipitation from sub-daily up to seasonal timescales, increasing the severity of flood hazards, high confidence. The average and maximum rain associated with tropical and extratropical cyclones, atmospheric rivers, and severe convective storms will therefore also increase with future warming, high confidence. Yikes. For some regions, there's medium confidence that peak tropical cyclone rain rates will increase more than 7% per 1 degree Celsius of warming due to increased low-level moisture convergence caused by increases in wind intensity. In the tropics year-round and the summer season elsewhere, interannual variability of precipitation and runoff over land is projected to increase at a faster rate than changes in seasonal mean precipitation. Subseasonal precipitation variability is also projected to increase with fewer rainy days, but increased daily mean precipitation intensity over many land regions. Did we make it? Wait, did we make it? No, we still got ways to go. These are the 5 scenarios. These are the 5 scenarios. Is this a UN climate change report or a degree level thesis? This is the technical summary of the IPCC report of Working Group 1 out of 3. I was looking on Google Earth at all the massive dairy CAFOs in the desert places like Arizona, and it's terrifying. This shit needs to stop. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Even under all scenarios, it seems like we still go at this peak over here. What would we have to do to even reach the orange line? Everything possible. Fifth Dimension, in case you were actually wanting to go through it yourself, I know that we're already like on page 62, but there it is. No, orange line not good, but preferable to dark red over here. Preferable to maroon? Is it dark red or maroon? Yeah, this is a situation where line go up is actually bad. Line go up bad. Jeez. I mean, tropical cyclones at 1.5 degrees. Intensity of tropical cyclones at the most charitable level goes up by 10%. Yikes. Under a medium scenario, it goes up by 13%. Again, at the most charitable, 1.5 degrees Celsius, we have times 2.4 drought. Under 2 degrees, it's 3.1. I can't stress enough just how big of a difference that would be. And in case we needed any other illustrations of what we can look at. Sea level rise. Yeah, I'm sure, spread it forward. I'm sure. I'm sure. Today's choices. What a ending story here. Sorry, ending quote. So today's choices will have long-lasting consequences. Think about that. Today's choices will have long-lasting consequences. And here we go. I think we'll leave at page 64. Man. We need to make it to page 109. The rest of it is graphs. We need to make it to page 109 and the rest of it is graphs. Alright, folks. Save that for you. Alright, folks, unfortunately that is all the time I have today. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Thank you, Darknet. Thank you, Spread It Forward. Thank you to all the new follows. Thank you, Dustin, for the $25 tip. Thank you, Benjamin P. Dixon, for the raid. Thank you to all the new follows. Thank you, the Thinking Sabercat for the biddies. I appreciate all of that. Thanks for streaming. Thank you for hanging here. I appreciate it. You have a good one. Thank you so much for all the support. You guys are what makes this channel go. Again, guys, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to follow. Don't forget to join us on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and spread the word far and wide. That's really one of the best ways that you can help. That's not financial. That's the best way you can help. That's not financial. Just spread the word as much as possible. And thank you guys. As always, please, thank you for your climate awareness. Of course, as always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. As always, love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. All right, folks. Let's head on over to Idam Simpson. Alright, folks, hang tight. We're heading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.